alaikum. In the most holy name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, who appeared among us, the black man and woman here in America, in the person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his divine servant and messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet each and every one of you, our listeners, our viewers, the believers, even our enemies, in the greeting words of peace and paradise in the Arabic language, the original language that was stolen from us, that was raped from our tongues and ripped from our minds. That original tongue, once again, of Assalamu alaikum. I am Brother Minister Abdul Haq Muhammad. I am a member of the Nation of Islam, associated with, connected with Muhammad's Temple United. We thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us today, wherever you are viewing us from. We ask that you tell a family member or family members, tell a friend, tell a neighbor that Muhammad's Sunday Lectures is on the air, streaming live. So thank you again, brothers and sisters, for joining us. Whenever we come together, it is traditional. It is an act of righteousness that we open up in the opening prayer, taught to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So whatever you believe in, whatever God that you subscribe to, please join us in the Muslim opening prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Surely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, trying to be upright, to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer and my sacrifice, my life and death, are all for Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. No associate has he, and this I am commanded. I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, and there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thou. And guide me into the best of morals, for none guides into the best of morals but thou. And turn away from me the evil and the indecent morals, for none can turn away the evil and the indecent morals but thou. O Allah, make Muhammad successful, and the followers of Muhammad successful, here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did make Abraham and the followers of Abraham successful. For surely thou art praised and magnified. And O Allah, bless Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did bless Abraham and the followers of Abraham. For surely thou art praised and magnified. Ameen. Brothers and sisters, thank you for taking that time to join us in the Muslim opening prayer. We who are followers of Muhammad the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're students. And we want to bring to you a very important subject concerning the man who we believe, who we trust, who we have faith in, that he had in fact met with God, and God gave him a message for you and I, the black man and woman, here in America, and of course, in his mission, all the other brothers and sisters who are part of the original black nation. And this message is also for the white man. There's a message for him here too. Though the polytheists be adverse or against, it is a message for each and every one of the people of the earth. Brothers and sisters, I just wanted to make a note to you. I had some surgery done on my mouth a couple of weeks ago, and it's still healing. So if I make some incorrect pronunciations, if I make a statement and the words may not come out correct, please forgive me. I'm still healing. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, our subject, a leader, a teacher, and a guide. So that is my subject. And I want all of us to listen very carefully. We don't want to do a long lecture. If we want to do that, we will go to part 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So, I just want each and every one of you to understand that and know that. So, brothers and sisters, let us be cognizant of what I'm saying this afternoon, because we want you to understand who this man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is and why we consider him a leader, teacher, and guide. He is the messenger of Allah, but in his mission, he is to bring leadership. He is to teach us and to guide us. See, whenever I teach, I just want you to understand and know that that this is something for you to understand. And I just wanted to make it clear, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a man, a practical man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a plain individual. And he had qualities. And these qualities was extraordinary because we believe, was taught by God, but he was a very simple man. And sometimes we make him kind of complex. We mystify him and make him like this mystery. But he was a man like me and you. But he had extraordinary qualities about him, as we all have qualities. So I just wanted you to understand this is what we're trying to convey to you, because we don't want you to see him as some kind of strange individual. He was raised up among us. And he did things. He said things that gave us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as black people to guide us, to lead us. He is a teacher. How do you determine a teacher? What is the criteria of a teacher? A good teacher who is patient. A good teacher is clear. A good teacher is plain and simple because they want to give you a message. They want you to understand the concept so you can have a deep-rooted knowledge and understanding of what they're trying to convey. Do you know, as I was saying, is how do you measure? What is the yardstick by measuring a teacher? A teacher, first of all, wants you to get the information. They don't want you to worship their personality. They don't want you to look at them and say, how handsome this person is. Oh, how smooth this person is. Oh, he drives a big car. He got a Mercedes. Or, I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he sounds. He can't pronounce words correctly. Or he looks kind of strange. That's not what a teacher cares about. They want to give you a message. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that and is that type of man. Do you know that for many years there were followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that didn't know or wasn't aware that he was the leader of the Nation of Islam? You could say, well, I can hardly believe that. See, the teacher is not to necessarily put himself out front, but a good teacher produces men and women to magnify and justify his leadership. Some people thought Malcolm was the leader of the Nation of Islam because he was the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You saw Minister Farrakhan, then and now. He also was produced by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You saw and marveled at heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali. You heard from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son, Imam or Wallace D. Muhammad. He was also produced by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He couldn't be if there was no Elijah Muhammad. That's true. This is very true. So a good leader produces people. This is why in many, many instances, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't make a lot of public appearances. He made many, but he didn't make a lot. He picked and chose where and when he would speak because his point, his idea was to deliver a message and to push those out front. This is why the great saying, you know a tree by the fruit it bears. You know a man by his works. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad met with God. And he was he was deep, but he was practical. He was simple. Let me tell you what he did. I came into the nation in the early 60s. And one article that appeared in the front page, one article that appeared in the Muhammad Speak newspaper that was published by the Nation of Islam then. During that period, it was in the 60s, late 60s, throughout the country, if some of you were alive and remember, America was plagued by a lot of smog, a lot of toxics that was in the air that was caused by cars. Carbon dioxide, exhaust was all in air. People were suffering from all kinds of breathing problems. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad designed and wrote an article that said, you want to deal with the smog, with the toxics? He gave a design, a picture, and he pointed out the different mechanisms by which this could be done. He said, let us go back to the steam engine, because back in the 20s and 30s, most cars, or even during the 18 and 1900s, most cars rode or operated under a steam engine. Steam is nothing but heated water in the exhaust system, in the system by which the car moves. He said, go back to the steam engine. And he put up a very beautiful design and gave the details on how that would be done. And he said, I know that seems antiquated. I know that seems going backwards. He said, but you can do this temporarily. You can do this for a time until you can come up with something better to destroy and eliminate smog. He said the steam engine would help. He said it will be a little slower, it will be a little different, but you won't have no smog, and you could, of course, live longer. How profound is that? Then he wrote a front, there was a front page display on Muhammad Speaks. It was called The Daring Pedestrian. The Daring Pedestrian. Now, here we are in the Nation of Islam. We kind of, we said, where's Mr. Muhammad going with this here? We usually hear, listen to articles and speeches he made. The black man is God. We must do something for ourselves. We look to the hereafter for the resurrection of the black man and woman. Those are the kind of articles we were used to reading. But all of a sudden, he drove this out there. I want to tell you these things because some of you don't know about this here. I'll just take my time for a few minutes to let you know. It was called The Daring Pedestrian. What is a pedestrian? That was someone, there's a pedestrian that traveled throughout the community, the society, the roads and the streets. And usually you hear that when you're crossing the street, you're a pedestrian. The pedestrian has a right of way. The pedestrian was hit. The pedestrian has a right to provide some kind of information about his accident on the street. A pedestrian is a person in movement, okay? He said the daring pedestrian. He would go on in the article, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing. He said that when you cross the street, look both ways. Be conscious. Be focused. Don't be so daring. Don't jump out there. Look before you leap. And we were all befuddled about that. So what is he talking about? We're looking for a word from God. But he was giving you a word from God. He was doing two things. He was letting you know you live in a society where all kinds of things are happening in the street, particularly with cars and people are driving erratically. People are driving without focus, anxious. But he said, don't be so daring that you jump out into the street. That was one message. The other message was, in your life, you're in movement. Be careful. Don't be so daring. Don't challenge things when you don't have to. Look at your finances. Look at your well-being. Look at what you eat. There's nothing wrong with being courageous. Courageous is something different from being daring. Courageous means you don't have no fear. You have courage. You speak truth to power. And you say, without a doubt, I speak truth to power and I will deal with the consequences. But daring, you got to be a little more focused. So you see what he was doing? And lastly, he came up with another article. It was on the front page of Muhammad Speak newspaper. And it said, pay your debts. Pay your debts. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad hated that we as his followers and as black people will go out and borrow money from financial institutions, from banks, from loan sharks. Some of you did loan sharking. Some of you gambling. He said, but whatever you do, pay your debt. At the time, a lot of brothers was opening up restaurants, and they would go to these white wholesalers, and they would give the brothers and sisters what you call trust, and they would finance whatever they needed. And a lot of times, when some of the brothers and sisters was late, they were ducking. Some of y'all do that right now. You're ducking your financials. You're ducking your banks. You're ducking the lands. You're bobbing and weaving when the creditors are calling you. Tell them I'm not home. You put your little children on the phone. Daddy not here. What are you telling your children to lie? My father not here. You sitting up in the room. But he said, pay your debt. He said a good Muslim would pay his debts. And he said, if you work for the white man, if your job is to give him 8 hours, you give him 8 hours of work and make sure he gives you 8 hours of pay. He said, that's the trade-off. Very simple, profound. I just wanted to give you all that information. All praise is due to Allah. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a leader, a teacher, and a guide. Allah has always, God, sent messengers. He sent prophets. He sent sages. He sent warners. He sent wise men and women throughout the annals of time, trying to deliver a message to the human being who may have went off the track. You always need someone to pull you back on the track, on the right path. In the Muslim world, we call it Sirat al-Mustaqim, on the right path. Not on a crooked path, on the right path. And God, in his mercy, in his beneficence, always sends messengers, prophets, warners. He did it with Marcus Garvey for us. He did it with Noble Drew Ali. He sent some whose names that we don't know, that was never publicized, but they came with a message for us. Sometimes, and oftentimes, when these messengers, when these prophets, when these wise teachers come, you don't accept them. You reject them. You ignore them. They could be right in your midst. Because you're looking for a certain type of person, or you want to accept a certain type of person. You want to accept the celebrity. Who says celebrities are smart? Some of them are nothing but fools with a lot of money. Okay? Right now, here in New York City, you should see the thousands and thousands of people who are worshiping. Yeah, I said it. They are worshiping the New York Knicks game in New York. They are in the streets as if these people of God, they're nothing but basketball players. I heard one of I think it was, I don't know which team. I can't recall which team. I don't know if it was Bronson on the New York Knicks or one of the other players on the Spurs. He said, yeah, I think he was a Spur. I can't recall. A young brother, he looked very young, but he's on one of the teams. He said, wait, this is just a game. He said, we can't be out there fighting and trying to hurt each other. He said, wait, this is just a basketball. Do you know, and I'm not trivializing these brothers that are on the court that have skills, but you can teach monkeys to play basketball and run up and down the court and throw the ball in the hoop. You can teach elephants They have taught elephants to stand on their head, do flips. They can take a, you ever heard of a flea circus? You know what a flea is, a very small, they can organize fleas to do circus antics. Yes. They can take beds and make them dance. Yes. So we cannot worship those that don't have our best interests or just entertain us. Don't just entertain me. That's what the white man did to us. Dance for me, Negro. Sing for me. Sing me one of them songs. Do the shuffle. You know? Smile and grin. But they never, ever respected you as a man and woman. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a leader, a teacher, and a guide. In order to accept the man in your midst, you have to know him. You have to know him in some kind of depth, not surface, but study him. Listen to what he says. Analyze him. He would always encourage all of us. He said, check out what I said. Turn it upside down. If you can find anything that I'm saying is not the truth, I will pay you a certain amount of money. That's how confident he was in what he believed and what he was teaching and what he was leading us to. Okay? Well, you say Elijah Muhammad is not here physically. Well, we didn't see him every year. I mean, we didn't see him all the time. Most of us saw him just on Savior's Day, once a year. Some of the other ministers and officials of the Nation of Islam, they got a chance to see him, you know, on many occasions, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week. They were blessed. I saw him maybe about 7 times or 8 times at Savior's Day. And I saw him when the Nation of Islam had his parade. I went into his house, into his, outside of his house, I should say. He was on the porch. And he was saluting us, and he was smiling, and I was about maybe 2 or 3 feet from him. Yes. But that's not what he wanted us to see, his physical. He wanted us to know and understand what he was teaching us. So we have to study him. How relevant is he in 2026? Is to know him, is to study him. And I'm going to be very honest, brothers and sisters. I mean, we say that in cliches, a kind of a cliche. I want to be frank, I want to be honest. But I came into the nation in 65. I registered. By the time 1966 came in, I was registered and a member of the Fruit of Islam. And from that time up until the time he left, I really wasn't a student. I was just there. I was sincere. I was comfortable. I felt the power of his word. But to know him, I am just now really becoming a student of this great man. Because our focus, sometimes your focus is in somewhere else. I was young, I was underdeveloped, and I had to evolve. And I had when I came in, the message to the black man was just being published. We didn't have Fall of America. We didn't have How to Eat to Live 1 and 2. We didn't have Our Savior Has Arrived. All we had was what we heard from the ministers and some of the writings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Muhammad Speaks. So our focus was on building a nation, you know. And I had some concepts that was very shallow and I didn't understand them all. But I am studying now. And this man is so profound. He's a leader, teaching guy. Now, how do you get to know him? He said out of his own mouth, he said, I come in the volume of the books. Let me say that again. He was teaching his ministers in a setting. He said, you want to teach me? You want to present me to the people? He said, then you have to see me and know I come in the volumes of the books. Now, what is the two main books? There are many books. So it's Master Farad Muhammad, when he met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and taught him for 3.5 years, he told him to read or to study 104 books that are found in the Congressional Library in Washington, D.C. But the two books that we mostly concentrate on, that he comes in their volume, is the Bible and the Holy Quran. Now, in the Holy Quran, in verse 28, or in chapter 28, or Surah 28, verse 46, this is the book. This chapter concerns the history of Moses. Let's go to that. Chapter 28, Surah 28. Just give me a minute. Oh, here we are. A prophet like Moses. When someone is described like something, it's making a comparison to the character, the behavior, the idea, the very concept of the person. A prophet like Moses. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the Moses to us. He came to free us from the grips of the white man who had captured us, enslaved us for 400 years. Now here we go. And it says, and thou, this is the chapter 28, verse 46. It said, and thou was not at the side of the mountain when we called, but a mercy from thy Lord, that they may know us or warn a people to whom no warner came before thee, that thine may be mindful. Now, if this book was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and the blessings of Allah forever be upon him, Allah is talking to him. Allah is communicating to him. But this is what Allah is saying. And I'll get to the point to show you how this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the volume of this book. It said, thou wast not at the side of the mountain when we called. He's telling Prophet Muhammad, no, you weren't there. On that side of the mountain. Now, what is a mountain? A mountain is a big pot of land, rocks. It is strong, it's high, it's tremendous. So a mountain here is a government. See, the government of the United States is a big mountain that people can't seem to get around. So here was Prophet Muhammad being told, see, you weren't there when we made the call. But a mercy from thy Lord may warn a people to whom a warner came, when whom no warner has come to thee, before thee. Let me read that again so it could be clear. It tells Prophet Muhammad, that you are not on that side of the mountain. For the Lord thou mayest warn a people to whom no warner came before you or before thee. See, we are people that never had a warner. The Jews had a warner. The Christians who claim Jesus claim him as their warner. Abraham came as a warner. Lot came as a warner. These people came. But who came to the black man and woman of America? Who cared about it? Who had mercy for us? No warner has come. God is telling Prophet Muhammad, a warner to a people who has never had a warner. That is us. That's Elijah Muhammad. He's in the volume of this book. It said, also, it goes on to say that thee or they may be mindful that will bring to our minds a message where we didn't have a message. So he comes in the volume of that book. What did Moses also do? He led the children of Israel from the grips of Pharaoh. He parted the Red Sea and brought the people on the other side in the direction of the promised land. Now, what does that mean? You know, a man can't part the Red Sea. How are you going to part the Red Sea? That's fantasy. What does that mean? And was there anyone that ever happened to? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that never happened historically. Moses was in Egypt. Even the Egyptian scholars, even the historians said that never happened. But what is it pointing to? What is that story about? That story is about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad finding us under a government, a mountain like America, where we were captive. Our language, our culture, our God, our religion, our philosophy was stolen and raped from us. Our women were raped. Our men was murdered. Our blood is in the land, in the soils of America. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad comes and spiritually frees us from the grips of the white man. And he parts the Red Sea. The sea represents people sometimes in spiritual language. The sea, the Red Sea, means the anger that the people see. Elijah Muhammad parted those seas, and we were able to walk through into an idea to bring us into a new world order. Oh, praises are due for him. Let us go on, brothers and sisters. We're moving right along. He comes in the volume of the book. He's like David in the book of Samuel in chapter 17. Daniel goes up against a giant called Goliath. Use the word Goliath using connotes something big, something colossal. The only Elijah Muhammad comes in the volume of the books. He comes and he faces a tremendous government. And that's what attracted many of our people to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Said, how did this little man, this humble man, this meek-looking man, talking to the white man's government, calling him a devil right in his face, and fears no one but Allah. He comes in the volume of the books, like David. Then let's go back to the Holy Quran again. Surah 25. Let's go to Surah 25. Surah 25 is called Al-Furqan. Al-Furqan, the discrimination. Verse 1, it said, blessed is he whom sent down the discrimination upon his servant, that he may be a warner to the nations. Okay? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad came to make the discrimination. He's a discriminator. He lets you know you have to discriminate on your idea and not let an enemy that you think is your friend teach your children, guide you. Some of you take advice from white people. You think that they have all the answers. But here was a man that makes a discrimination, makes you take a position. Either we, right today, our people are complaining of what Donald Trump and the government is doing, how they're taking away all the program, DEI, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who comes in the volume of the books, is to discriminate, lets you know, we'll separate. Create your own schools. Create your own job. Set up your own court system for justice and freedom and equality. He makes the discrimination. Aaron Furqan. Okay? Here we go. He makes a distinction. He sets up for us to be separate and makes us make the right decision for the health of our lives. Then, of course, he comes in the volume of the Bible. This book, in the book of Malachi, very distinct, very clear. The book of Malachi is the last chapter of the, what you call the Old Testament. And it says, the great day of the Lord. It says, surely, this is the 4th chapter, which is the last chapter in the book of Malachi. And the word Malachi in Hebrew means my messenger. It says, surely the day is coming, burning like an oven. All the proud, yes, all the evildoers will be stubborn. A day will come. We're in that day. It will be burning like an oven. Don't you feel that burning on your behinds, brothers and sisters? You feel the heat of oppression. You feel it. Feel the heat of discrimination. You feel the heat of all the things that are happening to you. Yes. Yes, brothers and sisters. Yes, you feel all of these things that are happening to you right now here in America. The heat, the burning of oppression. You feel the heat in the burning of discrimination. You feel the heat of the injustice happening to black people and our children all over America. And then it says, then it goes on to say, remember the law of Moses, my servant, the statutes, the judgments, which I command him at Horeb for all of Israel. Then it says, behold, I will send Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. I send you Elijah. That is Elijah Muhammad. God sent him to us. Even though we don't recognize him, we're looking for something different, something appealing, something attractive. But the truth sometimes may not be as attractive as you think it will be for you. The truth is hard. The truth is direct. The truth is bold and cutting. Sometimes the truth hurts. You heard that said before. The truth hurts. But eventually the truth will make you free. I send you Elijah. He comes in the volume of the book. All praises is due to Allah. We're moving on, brothers and sisters. We're going to finish in a few minutes. He comes like Jesus. Jesus healed the sick. He made the blind see. He made the lame walk. He fed the multitude. Now let us see if Elijah was able to do this. Many of us were sick, feeling our bodies were sick. We had all kinds of ailments, diabetes, rheumatism, pains in all joints. He gave us a dietary plan to make us well. He healed the sick. He made us see. We were deaf, dumb, and blind to the knowledge of ourselves. We were deaf, dumb, and blind to the knowledge of God and the knowledge of the devil. He took the veil off of our eyes, and we were allowed to see the white man as he is. We were allowed to see those things that deceived us, and now we know who we are, and that we are not less than what they told us that we would be, that we are. He made the lame walk. He made us walk upright and do something for ourselves. He fed the multitudes. He set up programs. He set a fish program in America to feed our people at a low, low price, where the white man was exploiting us. He built homes where we can have affordable rent. Yes. They said Jesus turned water into wine, or turned wine into water. He turned water into wine. What do you mean turn water into wine? Some of you say, yeah, I'm going to get me some wine now, because I'm going to get me some wine because Jesus turned water into wine. That's not what it means. Water represents purity. Water represents, in spiritual language, the people. He turned the people from just an ordinary lifestyle into wine, which is sweet and has substance. Yes. He did all of this. And Elijah Muhammad did that for us. He is in the volume of the book. The scholars of history said Jesus, they said in scripture he fed the multitudes. But the scholars of history, the scholars of religion said that the Jesus that you're trying to identify with only taught about 36 people at one time. But the one that would teach the multitude is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He comes in the volume of the book like Noah. He's like Noah. Noah built an ark. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad built a nation as an example. It wasn't complete. It wasn't a finished nation. It hadn't reached its perfection, but it was a nation with great potential for me and you, and we have the blueprint for that. He built an ark. An ark is a safety mechanism, and when the floods of opposition and the floods of persecution, we can be protected. Let me go on, because we're moving right along, brothers and sisters. I can't get into everything. He's a leader. What is a leader? A leader is someone who guides, directs, or influences a group, an organization, or a movement. He's an effective leader. Inspires, he motivates, and he empowers others. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad did all of that. He was inspirational. He was influential. He directed us from right or wrong, told us where to stay from and where to go. He empowered us. Everywhere you see a Muslim, everywhere you see a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we stand out. We empower. Everywhere I've worked, every place I've been, they always point me out and say, yeah, man, you different. We want you to guide us. Even on my job, they all stepped aside when they said, we want this brother. We want Ronald Stewart. That was my slave name. To represent us. But they didn't know that what they saw was not just of me, but it was what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me. And those qualities stood out. That's a good leader. Believers in 1931 was recognized. And they were inspired. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, wake up, wake up. Stop sleeping on your own values and your greatness. Wake up. Get up from that slumber. Then he said, once you wake up, you clean up. Clean yourself. Stop taking drugs. Stop drinking alcohol and using all kinds of substances to substitute the greatness that is in you. Clean up. Wash your bodies. Take care of your family. Clean up. Stop going to clubs and hanging out. Stop. Clean up. Stop eating the hog and all of this filthy, unclean food that you put in your body. Clean your mind up. And stand up. Like a man and like a woman. Don't be afraid. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a leader took the fear from us. Made us believe in ourselves and those fears that we harbored in our hearts and minds. And once you stand up, you clean up. The white man respects you more. Yes, sir. White men don't respect no boot-looking Negro, no behind-looking Negro, licking Negro, no brown noses, as they call it. He don't respect you because he know you only around him because you want something from him. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us to stand up and be a man and a woman. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad motivated us. He organized temples with a theology that was so surpassed, so great, that it made us superior in all our communities, and people looked to the Nation of Islam. He helped us purchase land, businesses. We had fish imports and exports. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is an educator. He provided knowledge and made us competent and instruct us how to solve our problems. He taught many, many, many of us. Well, you said, well, Elijah Muhammad attracted criminals. Yeah, in the beginning, yes, he did. Many people, ex-offenders. Malcolm was one of the most outstanding ones. He was a pimp. He was a criminal. He was a stick-up kid. He hang out with white women. But the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad while he was in prison transformed him. It made him come out of that world. And it can do the same thing for me and you. The teachings of Islam, as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is transforming for the black man and woman. It will take you from one state and put you in another. In that other state, another state will make you a better person, morally, spiritually, socially, economically. See, in the beginning, he attracted those ex-offenders because many of our people that were educated felt that he was below them. But see, the uneducated brother, the brother from the street, the sister from the alley, they don't care anything about that. They want their lives changed, and they're willing to support someone that can change their lives and make them better. They're not hooked up on all these pomp and glitter and all this facade. They're not into that. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad understood that. So he taught these brothers and sisters that came from prison with him. Some of them he met in there when he was in prison. Because he knew one day as he got more developed in his message to our people, our educated black people, that they would come on because they would see a role for them. I remember when I was working on my job before I retired, my supervisor, who was a member of a church called St. Paul's Community Baptist Church in a part of Brooklyn called East New York, he came to me one day. He said, we have an all men's night once a month. And he said, my Pastor Reverend Johnny Youngblood, wants you to come and address the men. I said, okay. I said, what do you want me to deal with? He said, he is very interested, and he is perplexed, kind of perplexed. I don't know if that's the right word. He is amazed how the followers, the men, particularly of the Nation of Islam, follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, are committed to him, that are loyal to him, and would give their life, if necessary, to follow this man and be a part of him. He said, he said, I can't understand how men, what is about Elijah Muhammad? I said, okay. I went to the meeting. It was maybe about 500. Yeah, black men was there. And this, because they had a big church. I remember everything that I said. But I posed the question. I said, the pastor asked me, what makes us so loyal to Elijah Muhammad? What does this man have that makes us committed to him and ready to give our life? I said, basically, his love, commitment, and dedication to us. And that transmitted to our hearts and minds of the men, because we were all without fathers. We were all without guides. We were all without those things that made us suffer in America. And here was a man that said, I don't care what your lifestyle is. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your background. If you was dead in the alley, if you were the worst of the worst, come to you and offer you salvation from God in person. And I love you. What comes from the heart, goes to the heart. And I said, that's what makes us committed to this man. All praises is due to our God. All right, brothers and sisters, we're getting close to the end of our subject. The very basis of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings to us, as a guide, as a leader, as a teacher, he asked a question in the Message to the Black Man. This book, first chapter, who's that mystery God? That is the very foundation of his teaching, because he knew as long as we believed in something outside of ourselves, something that was a mystery, something untangible or intangible, that we would never enter a hereafter or get true freedom, justice, and equality. So he starts out, who's that mystery? Allah is God. Who is that mystery God? He said, for thousands of years, the people who did not have the knowledge of God or the person of God or the reality of God worship their own ideas of God. He said that God that he worshiped, he made him like many things other than what he really is. He said the Christians refer to God as a mystery, as a spirit, and divide him into thirds. He said, did God say he was a mystery, or are you saying that God is a mystery? Where did he say he was a mystery? In the book of Genesis. He said, I created man and woman. I made creation. Okay? He said he made creation like himself. The likeness, the image of God. We were made in the image and the likeness of God. And he went on to say, can God be a mystery? God, and yet the prophets represent himself. Many of the prophets represent God, that God is not known as a mystery. They tell us that God hears, he speaks, he talks. But how could he be a mystery if he does all of that? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, once he eliminates the idea that God's a mystery, then you can start doing something for yourself. So you don't wait till you die to get some heaven right now. What is a guide? A guide is someone that directs, influences, and provides information. A guide has vision. 1930, 1940s, the 50s, the 60s, on into the 70s, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad guided the Nation of Islam. We were successful in 99% of the things that we did. Of course, we had some problems and some glitches and some inactions here and there, but by and large, he guided us for 40 years. And we represented the premier institution, black institution of America. There would be no black talk. There would be no Black Lives Matter if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the 30s and the 40s introduced the word black, because we were calling ourselves everything other than black. He removed fear from us. He set up a Muslim program to guide us. And his main course of study and teachings and guide to us was the reality of God. And he says, from that reality, the point of which is Islam. Islam represents peace. Every creature, every living entity desires peace. And he says, Islam provides peace for us. And that's what we have to accept. In Islam, you have the principles that guide and govern us, and it makes us whole. And that's what we seek. Now, as I conclude, brothers and sisters, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met Master Farad Muhammad, that he identified as God in person, to whom all praises are due forever, he said to Elijah, he said, teach them what I taught you. I say that again. He said, teach those black people that you come in contact with teach them what I taught you. He said, don't force them. Don't beg them. Don't push them. Don't make them. He said, just teach them what I taught you. He said, if they don't accept it, then leave it alone. He said, if they do not accept what I taught you to teach them, without you forcing them, then me and you will move together and walk together into the hereafter. So, brothers and sisters, we of the Nation of Islam, based on the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a leader, a teacher, and a guide offer you Islam as your salvation. We're not going to force you, but it will make you realize the America that you live in today. Don't look for the white man to change. He ain't changing because it's not in his nature. But you have the nature and the ability to do better because God came for you exclusively to put you in heaven at once. And if you don't accept that, then you go to hell and you continue to live in there. But you don't have to. And with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you for listening, and may Allah forever grant you protection and knowledge and wisdom and understanding and the light of understanding. As I conclude, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. I hope what I said gave you some understanding of who this man is, a leader, teacher, and a guide. He came for us. He is from us. But we have to recognize that and accept it. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to study. There's some information that's going to be given to you after this, after I officially close out, and that information will allow you to learn more about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, how you can get involved in Muhammad's Temple United, how you can learn more about his teachings and everything that you are seeking. But you gotta seek and you shall find. You got to do that. It's not going to just come to you, you know. So with that, brothers and sisters, as we open in prayer, we also close in prayer. And please follow me silently in the Muslim closing prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone we serve, and thee alone do we beseech for aid. Guide us along the right path, along the path of those who thou hast bestowed favors, but not along the path of those whom thy wrath is brought down, nor along those who go astray. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he whom nothing is independent of, but upon whom we all depend. He neither begets not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be praised or worshipped besides Allah, who came in the person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad. I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his true servant and messenger. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
I want you to remember to escape this disgracement. Come follow me.